The man is the first black Captain America in history, but just a few days ago, he was worried about skin color issues. He felt that he shouldn't hold the title of captain. He hid in the village all day, repairing his little boat. His friend, the White Wolf, couldn't bear to see him in this state. He decided to help the man regain his confidence.
Could've used that shield.
However, after defeating Thanos, many superheroes have not been doing well, especially the Falcon. In order to make ends meet, the Falcon partners with the Air Force. He frequently participates in dangerous rescue missions. One day, the LAF organization hijacked a transport plane. They were flying to another country. The Falcon must rescue the hostages before the plane crosses the border and save the hostages. Torres is his liaison with the Air Force, and he is also involved in the mission. Torres serves as ground support, and the Falcon's flight suit is enhanced with its superior performance. He quickly catches up to the transport plane. He crouched on the glass and discovered that the pilot has already been killed. At this moment, the plane is rapidly approaching the border. Time is of the essence. The Falcon calls out his Red Wing. The Falcon entered the cabin to launch an attack before the enemies even realize they are knocked down. At this time, the assailants shoot him from behind. The Falcon's wings merge to form a shield. Unexpectedly, the bullet ricochets and hits the pilot. But don't worry, the plane has autopilot, and these people have no intention of staying on the plane. The knocked-down enemies quickly regain consciousness. Then, they rapidly suit up in wingsuits. They hold the hostages and jump from the plane, but they can't match the Falcon's speed. The assailants turn around and shoot at him. The Falcon deploys his parachute, while the others try to lose him using the terrain. They fly into a narrow canyon. The Falcon's wingspan is too wide, creating friction during the pursuit. The Falcon quickly adjusted and pursued, but just as he exited the canyon, he was ambushed by a helicopter. He reacted swiftly and avoided being killed. He deployed Red Wing. Red Wing is small but very effective. He fires 2 missiles, taking out one of the planes. Then, he uses his machine gun to sweep the helicopter's rotor. The Falcon neutralizes the threat, and Red Wing quickly returns to him. The Falcon rapidly chases the enemies, and he is about to rescue his teammate. Unexpectedly, the enemies collide with the Falcon using their bodies. The enemies on the plane cheer.
What's up?
But the enemies react quickly. They take the hostages and flee towards another helicopter. Remarkably, the terrorist organization has so many planes. They are about to cross the border. At this moment, an armed helicopter appears. Rockets rain down on the Falcon. Due to low accuracy, he fires heat-seeking missiles. The Falcon doesn't hold back either. As he returns with the missiles, he destroys the armed helicopter. There are still a few missiles trailing behind, and they are very close to the border now. In an instant, the Falcon comes up with a plan. He flies towards the helicopter with the hostages. He and Torres take a break in Tunisia. Torres tells Sam that, although the LAF hijacked a plane, these are minor issues. What he needs to pay special attention to is a new organization. They call themselves the Flag Smashers. After half of the world's population returned, the world was divided among various countries. The Flag Smashers have only one goal: to create a world without borders. That's why many people support this organization. Sam advises him to keep an eye out. If things escalate, to let him know. Then, Torres asks about Steve. He wants to know if he was sent to the moon. People are reluctant to accept Captain America's departure, and Sam vaguely replies no. He then needs to hurry back to Washington, as he has a speech to attend.
Courageous, righteous, hopeful.
After Iron Man and Captain America sacrificed themselves, America has no heroes left. The public is left without a spiritual anchor. But Sam feels that he cannot take up Captain America's mantle. Sam decides to hold a press conference to hand the shield over to the government. After the speech, Rhodey invites Sam to visit the Captain America Museum. Sam said that, from the moment he received the shield, he felt the shield belonged to someone else, and that someone was Steve. After Steve's departure, he has struggled to find his footing. Rhodey's situation is similar. America needs the emergence of new heroes. On the other side, after the Endgame, Bucky has been plagued by nightmares. He keeps recalling the days he was controlled by HYDRA. The government pardoned his crimes, but on the condition that he must undergo regular psychological evaluations. During the evaluations, Bucky is reluctant to mention the nightmares until the doctor is ready to note his behavior. He finally reveals his struggles, except for the 6 months he rested in Wakanda. For nearly a century after that, He has been constantly fighting. It's too difficult to find peace. The doctor tells Bucky he needs to go out and make friends. For the rest of the time, he doesn't need to fight. How to spend a long time alone. But for Bucky, making friends is also a difficult task. After returning, he sees an old man arguing with a young man. He recognizes the old man Yuri, and then invites him to have dinner. Yuri helps him set up a date with the waitress. Unexpectedly, it goes quite well. The waitress tells him to come back tomorrow night. Suddenly, Yuri looks at the red bean mochi in front of him, and he freezes. Yuri says this was his son's favorite treat. He was killed during a business trip, and the police said it was a tragic accident. Yuri doesn't believe it was just an accident. What he finds hardest to accept is not knowing the cause of his son's death. Bucky's eyes darken upon hearing this, because it was the Winter Soldier who killed his son. He cannot bring himself to tell Yuri about this. Bucky has been tormented by this, and he cannot find inner peace. The next day, when he goes on a date with the waitress, she brings up the pain of Yuri's son's death. After hearing this, he wants to tell Yuri the truth, but seeing Yuri open the door, Bucky still can't bring himself to speak the truth. He only says he forgot to give him the lunch money. Bucky pulls out the money and leaves. Meanwhile, back in his hometown, Sam's life is also in a bad state. His sister's business is struggling, and she is preparing to sell the fishing boat. Sam says that's their home, and she shouldn't sell it. Due to the burden of the family, his sister is under a lot of pressure. Her income can't sustain their living, so she has no choice but to sell the boat. Sam feels helpless about this, because he only has a little salary. At this point, Sam promised that he will take out a loan as an Avenger to repair the boat and rent it out, and everything will get better. His sister, although skeptical, agreed to his proposal. However, when they get to the bank, the staff recognizes the Falcon and becomes very excited, taking photos and adding him as a friend. But when it comes to the loan, his expression changes immediately. The staff said that Sam disappeared for 5 years, and he has no income record, so the loan cannot be approved. Although Sam has government contract proof, after billions of people returned, the loan requirements have become stricter. In the end, Sam is unable to get the money. This is truly a case of a penny bringing down a hero. Back at home, Sam goes into the fishing boat, where there are memories from his childhood everywhere. Suddenly, he received a notification from Torres. It turned out that last night, he attended a Flag Smashers event. He captured footage of the Flag Smashers, and they are incredibly strong. One punch knocked him out. He doesn't know what happened after that. And now, more and more people are supporting the Flag Smashers. He asks Sam to help solve the problem. This is yet another daunting task. Sam is worried about how to tackle this issue, when suddenly, his sister comes over and tells him to watch TV. Unexpectedly, the shield that was just handed over to the government now surprisingly appears in the hands of an imposter. In order to stabilize public confidence, they actually let a pretty boy become the new Captain America. The new Captain America is named John Walker. He is a 3-time Medal of Honor recipient and has impressive physical abilities. During the tests of Captain America's shield, he achieved good results. John Walker also stated that he doesn't intend to replace Steve. He just wants to do his best to be a good new Captain America. Bucky watches the imposter on TV, and he is very angry. Bucky rushed to the Air Force base to find Sam, and his first words to Sam are, "Why did you hand over the shield?" Sam is also very angry about this. He didn't expect the government to do this, but now, he has more important things to deal with. Bucky asks, what could be more important than getting the shield back? Sam shows him the video of the Flag Smashers. After watching, Bucky says he happens to have nothing to do, and he can join in. However, on the plane, the two have differing opinions, and they start a staring contest, until they reach the sky above their destination. The Falcon leaps down using his flight gear, but the plane is flying too low to use parachutes. With no other option, he can only imitate the captain. However, he falls to the ground, and he is knocked down by the Falcon's Red Wing. Soon, the two arrive at an abandoned building. The Falcon uses Red Wing to scout from above. While bickering, they discover there are a total of 8 people here, and it seems there is a hostage as well. The two launch a rescue operation. Bucky leaps onto the truck, opens the back door, and he discovered that there are many frozen vaccines here. Then he saw the hostage hiding in the middle. The enemy smirks disdainfully, and the next second, Bucky is thrown out, and he is restrained by 2 Flag Smashers. Bucky instantly realized that these people are super soldiers. Red Wing comes to provide support, but he is torn apart by the female leader. the Falcon arrives to join the fight, but the opponents are too strong, and the two are quickly overwhelmed. The Falcon is about to sacrifice himself, when a shield flies in and knocks one of them away. The new Captain America arrives with his partner to help. With their assistance, the two being beaten become four being beaten. Bucky is forced under the truck, when the Falcon flies in from a distance, and rescues him. Then Bucky tells the Falcon, the truck is filled with super soldier serum, and they must find out the source of the serum. At this moment, Walker and his partner follow in a vehicle, but Bucky and the Falcon completely ignore them. Then, the enemy said that they are far from the airport, and they don't want to walk, so they got in the car. Then the Falcon stated that the enemy wants to return the world to 5 years ago. Walker says they need to work together. He doesn't want to replace Steve. He just wants to do his best as Captain America. Walker gathers the two to join his team, but the two look down on this imposter, and they mock him a few times before getting out of the car. Back on the plane, Bucky still wants to get the shield back, but Sam stated that taking the shield will not end well for them. Agent Sharon was labeled a dangerous fugitive by the government for helping Captain America retrieve the shield. Currently, there's no way around this. Bucky says he wants to take Sam to see an old acquaintance. The old man's name is Isaiah, and he is one of the most feared by HYDRA. He is a super soldier like Steve, and 70 years ago, he fought Bucky. In that battle, he tore off Bucky's mechanical arm. Then the two inform him that the serum has resurfaced. Isaiah instantly becomes furious upon hearing this, as Bucky, under control, killed countless people, and now he has become a hero. Meanwhile, he has been imprisoned for 30 years, and every day, people come to draw his blood for experiments. After just a few words, the two are kicked out. Immediately afterward, police arrive to arrest Bucky. It turned out that because he helped Sam, he missed his psychological evaluation, so he has to return to the precinct to complete the evaluation. The scene shifts as Sam waits inside the precinct. At this time, Bucky is bailed out by Walker, but now he has to undergo the psychological evaluation with Sam. However, during the evaluation, their attitudes are poor. The doctor asks the two to sit face to face, even close enough to have their legs touching. Neither of them is pleased, and they start another staring contest. Then, under the doctor's urging, Bucky finally speaks up. It's the same question again. Why did you hand over the shield? Sam is left speechless at this, and he states that once this mission is accomplished, we'll disband. The two still haven't opened up, while Walker waits outside the precinct for a long time. When the two finally come out, he again proposes they join his team, but the two still look down on him. They believe that acting alone is better. The other party is unwilling to join them. Walker throws down a harsh remark, warning them not to get in his way. Then the two think about how to continue the mission. Bucky says he has an acquaintance. Sam guesses what he's up to, and quickly protests, but Bucky insists that this person knows everything. He is Baron Zemo, the one who incited the civil war among the Avengers. On the other side, the Flag Smashers are being sheltered by their admirers. Such admirers are everywhere, and they will warn the Flag Smashers. They are preparing supplies to escape to another location. At this moment, the police are tracking their whereabouts. They are on their way, when one of them receives a warning from an admirer. Before the police arrive, the Flag Smashers escape once more. The origin of the Flag Smashers goes back 6 months ago, when Hulk snapped his fingers. He brought back all the people who were dusted, but the world order changed, and these people found no place to land. So countries united to establish the Global Repatriation Council to arrange the living conditions for those who returned, but those who were not dusted were left without any care now. Thus, the Flag Smashers organization emerged, led by Carly, who wants the world to return to the state it was 5 years ago, so that everyone has equal treatment. So she stole the super soldier serum from power brokers, and her current whereabouts, Zemo is likely to know. Sam and Bucky arrive in Germany, and Bucky goes to visit Zemo alone. Upon seeing him, Zemo begins to recite the activation words for the Winter Soldier.
Желание, Живой, 17.
But now, Bucky has freed himself from those words. Then he asks if Zemo knows anything about the super soldier serum. Zemo instantly understands their purpose, and says he knows where to start looking, but he has one condition. Bucky must help Zemo escape from prison successfully, and join their operation. At this point, the two suddenly remember he is a baron. Zemo boards a private jet, taking the two to Madripoor. There is a female broker named Selby here, who might know the source of the super soldier serum, but Madripoor is a lawless place. Whether they can survive there depends on their acting skills. Sam will play the role of a billionaire, and Bucky needs to pretend to be the missing Winter Soldier. Soon, they arrive at the gang's paradise. Initially, the guards are unwilling to let them see Selby, until Zemo mentions the command to control the Winter Soldier. Bucky cooperates and takes down all the guards, and they meet Selby. Zemo uses the control command for the Winter Soldier as leverage, and wants to exchange information on the serum's source. Selby is instantly pleased upon hearing this, and tells Zemo that there is a doctor named Nagel, who is currently creating the serum in Madripoor. Zemo wants to extract more information, when suddenly, Sam's phone rings. Zemo is left speechless, and Selby looks at Sam, requesting Sam to put it on speaker, and answer the call. Sam talks nonsense to his sister. Although his sister doesn't catch on to his meaning, they are about to bluff their way through. Suddenly, his sister calls out, "Sam!" Selby immediately realized that they are pretending. He orders his men to kill a few of them. Suddenly, a bullet flies in from outside, killing Selby. The group takes down the guards and escapes, but there are too many pursuing assassins. In a critical moment, someone secretly saves the two. When the mysterious person reveals themselves, the two realize that it is Sharon. She sees Zemo aiming a gun to kill him, but she is stopped by the two. To evade the bounty, she settled in Madripoor. She steals authentic paintings here, selling them to the wealthy. Back at the safe house, Sam informs Sharon that, as long as she can help find Nagel, he will try to help her gain forgiveness. Sharon listens. Although she is somewhat skeptical, she decides to help him anyway. Soon, they arrive at a bar to gather information. They dance for a while, when Sharon says she's found Nagel's location. Then they arrive at a dock, and Nagel is in one of the containers. Sharon gives them the coordinates, and then she steps aside to keep watch. As the three enter the container, they find nothing inside. Zemo is not surprised, and walks to the end to find a hidden door. Through the hidden door, they arrive deep inside. This is a fully equipped laboratory, and Nagel is researching the serum. At the same time, Sharon, who is keeping watch, saw that all the assassins are gathering toward the dock. After the interrogation, they learn that Nagel once worked for HYDRA. He was involved in the Winter Soldier program. After HYDRA fell, he was recruited by the CIA. The CIA provided him with a blood sample from a super soldier. The blood sample came from Isaiah, who was imprisoned for 30 years. After continuous experimentation, he finally created the serum, and it's an improved version that can enhance human bodies. But at that time, he had just completed the experiment when he turned to dust. When he returned, the project had already been abandoned, so he came here. The power broker provided him with enough resources for research. He produced a total of 20 serums, all of which were stolen by Carly. Although Nagel doesn't know where she is. A few days ago, Carly called him, asking Nagel to help someone named Konya. At this moment, Sharon can't hold on any longer. She rushes into the container to tell everyone to retreat. Suddenly, Zemo pulls out a gun and shoots Nagel. At the same time, an RPG explodes, flipping the laboratory. Zemo takes the opportunity to escape, and the gas canisters in the lab are ignited. The group runs toward the exit of the laboratory. The main characters are, of course, unharmed, but the surrounding assassins continue to attack. After a while, Sam and the others run out of bullets. Suddenly, Zemo appears on top of the container. He shoots and ignites the gas pipeline, taking out the remaining assassins. Then he drives a luxury car, picking up the group and successfully escaping. On the plane, Sam remembers the days of fleeing with Sharon, and decides to help her obtain a pardon. Next, they discuss the shield again. Sam felt that he should have destroyed the shield back then, because the shield belongs to Steve. Bucky states that he will personally take back the shield. Then Sam learned that Konya died in Riga. Zemo instructs the pilot to change course. Meanwhile, Walker and his partner arrive at a prison in Germany. They saw that, on the day of Zemo's escape, Sam and Bucky were there as well. He immediately concludes that the two rescued Zemo, though there is no evidence. He wants to confront Sam about it. The scene shifts. The Flag Smashers raid the supply station of the Repatriation Council. They take away supplies that would sustain the camp for 6 months. Then, Carly gets into her companion's car, telling him to fasten his seatbelt. The companion exclaims in surprise that there are still living people inside. It's clear that at this moment, Carly has already lost her mind. The next day, Sam and the others arrive in Riga. At this time, Bucky suggested that he wants to go for a walk. Then, he follows the metal ball's guidance to a small alley. He meets a warrior from Wakanda's royal guard here. She is Bucky's benefactor. 6 years ago, she helped Bucky get rid of his nightmares. Every day, she would recite the words to awaken the Winter Soldier. Until this day, Bucky is no longer affected by those words.
You are free.
Returning to the present, the warrior questions him why he let Zemo go. Bucky explained that Zemo is a means to an end. The warrior listens, and then gives him 8 hours. After the time is up, they will come to take Zemo back at the safe house. Bucky tells the others about this. Then, they arrive at the community where Konya lived. Sam and Bucky want to get clues from the residents, but when people see the two, they flee in fear. They do not welcome their arrival. At this moment, Zemo downstairs pulls out some candy, and learns from a child that the Flag Smashers will hold a funeral for Konya, but he doesn't tell Sam the specific details. He needs to keep some leverage. By the afternoon, Zemo takes the two to the funeral site. Suddenly, Walker and his partner also arrive here. They spot Zemo escaping. Walker's intentions are questionable, but Sam agrees to team up with him, though he believes that Carly might have her reasons. Sam decides to talk to her first, though Walker is reluctant. He agrees nonetheless. Sam communicates smoothly with Carly, and he is about to persuade her. Outside, Walker can't hold back. Ignoring Bucky's attempts to stop him, Walker barges in. Carly thinks that Sam is stalling for time to wait for reinforcements. The negotiation breaks down, and she punches Walker down. Carly then turns and flees, though Bucky chases after her. But this place is like a maze. After a short while, he loses track of Carly. At this moment, outside, Zemo breaks free from his handcuffs, and finds Carly as she runs away. Zemo directly opens fire, and Carly is hit. In the chaos, she spills the serum. Zemo sees the serum on the ground, and in Carly's despair, he crushes them all underfoot. At this time, Walker arrives, and knocks Zemo out cold. Then in the corner, Walker spots the last remaining vial of serum. After some thought, he puts it into his pocket. The mission comes to a temporary end. Walker failed to capture Carly. He wants to return to the safe house with Zemo. Falcon wants to stop him, but Walker puts down the shield. He wants to fight him. Suddenly, 8 hours are up. The Wakandan warrior arrives here. She takes Zemo away. Walker wants to persuade her not to meddle, though Sam warns him not to provoke the warrior. He ignores the warning. Walker places a hand on her shoulder, and because of this action, the warrior kicks Walker away. Then, she grabs a spear and thrusts it at him. Walker raises his shield to block. Another warrior restrains his partner. Walker is also beaten into submission. Sam and Bucky are in a difficult position, but they still intervene to stop this one-sided crushing. Unexpectedly, the warrior completely ignores them. She sends Sam flying, but they don't notice that. At this moment, Zemo has already escaped. Walker wants to counterattack, but he is pinned in place by a spear. No matter how hard Walker tries, he cannot break free. Bucky fights the warrior, but he gets his arm dislocated. Everyone comes to a halt. The warrior dominates everyone. One of them realized that Zemo has escaped. The warrior calls off the team and leaves. Sam also didn't expect that she could dislocate Bucky's arm. Walker retrieves the shield with a vacant stare. The Wakandan guards are not super soldiers, and he still can't defeat them, so he decided to inject the serum to become stronger. On the other side, Carly received a text from the power broker, threatening her to hand over the serum, or they will kill them. But the serum has been crushed by Zemo, and they can't deal with both factions. Carly calls Sam's sister, tells Sam through his sister that someone wants to meet her. Otherwise, she will find his sister and the child. Carly plans to divert their forces, and then look for a chance to kill the new Captain America. The next day, Sam receives a call from his sister to protect her and his nephew's safety. Falcon and the Winter Soldier arrived. Carly provides a location. As they meet, Sharon informed Falcon that Walker is in action. He realized they want to kill Walker. Walker instructs Bucky to go for rescue. Carly realizes and tries to stop them. The two dare not waste time, and quickly slip away, moving toward Walker. Meanwhile, Walker thinks he has discovered the headquarters of the Flag Smashers, but after his partner goes in, there is no response. He anxiously goes in to search. Walker finds that there is no one there. Two super soldiers knock out his partner and drag him to the side. Then they prepare to kill Walker. Their attacks leave Walker unable to respond. He throws his shield, but unexpectedly, the shield embeds itself in the wall. Then, on the stairs, he encounters the super soldiers, but this time, they are at a disadvantage.
Oh shit.
They are driven off by Walker. Clearly, Walker has injected the super serum. Falcon is stunned by this scene, but the most important thing now is to save people. The two arrive in the hall. They are ambushed by others. Walker's fighting ability has increased. As the enemy pulls out a dagger, he is sent flying by Walker's shield, landing right in Bucky's hands. Bucky uses the dagger to assist Falcon, but at this moment, Walker is being overwhelmed. Carly sees an opportunity. She wants to stab him to death. Carly is stopped by her waking partner. Carly accidentally knocks him away, causing him to crash into a pillar. The partner dies on the spot. Everyone was stunned. The Flag Smashers realized they had killed the wrong person, and they began to flee. Walker stared at his dead partner, and he completely lost his mind. Walker bursts through a window to chase down his enemies. He catches up to a slower runner. Walker loses his sanity, and kills the opponent with his shield. This scene is captured by the crowd, and more people gather around. Walker realizes what's happening, and quickly flees the scene. Walker runs into a warehouse. At this moment, the effects of the serum fully manifest on him. The darkness within him continues to grow. At this time, Falcon and the Winter Soldier arrive, and find that Walker has gone mad. They demand he hand over his shield. Walker is displeased by this, and he engages in a fight with them. Walker has injected the serum, and his strength is formidable. The two fight against one, and they are at a disadvantage. Bucky is knocked away, crashing into a power tower and losing consciousness. Falcon takes to the sky, trying to snatch the shield away, but Walker's strength is immense. He pulls Falcon back down. Then, Walker pins him down, and breaks his wings. The shield is about to come crashing down. Fortunately, Bucky wakes up and knocks him away. The two join forces to fight for the shield, and they finally take the shield from Walker, but Walker still wants to fight. Bucky gets to his feet, and throws the shield beside Falcon. Then he turns and walks away. Falcon sits up, wiping the blood off the shield. At this moment, he also misses Captain America. The video of Walker killing goes viral. The government takes over the manhunt. Walker faces trial, and all his achievements and honors are stripped away. He is ordered to return the shield. Walker feels resentful, but he cannot resolve the situation. The huge disparity breeds hatred in him. At this moment, a woman approaches. She introduces herself as Val, and claims to have limitless power. She encourages Walker, saying that what he did was right, and she also knows that Walker lost the shield and injected the serum. Val told him that she has a mission for him. Then Val drops a blank business card and leaves. On the other side, Carly leads the Flag Smashers back to their base, which has been cleaned out by the military. Their comrades and followers have all been captured. Seeing this scene, she is filled with rage. Carly decides to retaliate. Meanwhile, Sam and Bucky have hit a dead end, and can only part ways to rest. Sam looks at the shield in the safe house, and starts to ponder whether he should take on the mantle. Sam remains uncertain, so he decides to visit Isaiah, to seek advice from the Black Hero. Then Sam discards the aircraft, and leaves with the shield. Bucky conducts reconnaissance, and finds Zemo in Sokovia. Zemo says Carly is beyond saving. The only way to stop her is to kill her. Bucky pulls out a gun, and aims to eliminate this monster. But Bucky is no longer the Winter Soldier. He hands Zemo over to the Wakandan guards. Zemo is imprisoned on a remote island, to spend the rest of his life. Then Bucky asks the Wakandans for help. Meanwhile, on Sam's side, he arrives with the shield at Isaiah's backyard. They talk for a long time. Isaiah shares his past. He and his comrades were injected with different serums, but the effects were poor for the others. Soon, his comrades died one after another. 2 of them were captured by the enemy, and the military ordered the bombing of the enemy camp to destroy the evidence. He infiltrates enemy lines to rescue his comrades. However, in the end, only he survived. The government imprisoned him. They wanted to find out why the serum worked on him. After that came 30 years of continuous experimentation, until a nurse took pity on him, and forged a death certificate for him, allowing him to escape, and she even gave him the belongings left by his wife. His wife didn't even know before she died that Isaiah was still alive. Sam wants Isaiah to expose this matter, but Isaiah says, if this gets out, he won't survive a day. Moreover, the government won't allow a black man to be Captain America, even if they agree. A dignified black man would never take on that identity. These words hit Sam hard, and he decides to go home to rest, to reflect on the meaning of the shield. After Sam returns home, his sister tells him the boat can't be sold, because it's too broken for anyone to take, and repairing it won't recover the costs. Sam feels he should take care of things at home, so he decides to fix the boat. Sam calls the neighbors who benefited from his parents, and they are very eager to help. When they heard that the Wilson family needs assistance, many people come to the dock. They work together to repair the fishing boat, and Bucky also arrives there. He brought Sam a gift from Wakanda, a Wakandan gift, but Sam doesn't open it, and continues to work on the boat. Seeing that Sam has no energy, Bucky helps him fix the boat. They then discuss the whereabouts of the Flag Smashers, and how the government has taken over. They have no choice but to scout. Sam looks at the box in front of him, but he lacks the courage to open it. He feels very lost, and doesn't know whether to persist. Bucky decides to stay the night, to help fix the boat while waiting. Sam changes his mind. The next morning, Bucky wakes up to the noise. Sam's two nephews are playing with Captain America's shield. He remembers the days when Steve was around. They quickly get back to fixing the boat, trying to finish before their sister wakes up, but they mess it up anyway, and are chased away by their sister. The two head to the woods, to practice using the shield together. At this point, Bucky finally says he's sorry. At first, he didn't understand what it felt like for a black man to be entrusted with the shield, but now he's starting to understand. This shield is the last remaining symbol of his connection to family. After Steve left, he takes out Steve's notebook. He has recorded everyone he has ever hurt. He wants to make amends in every way possible, to atone for his past mistakes, but this atonement doesn't seem to bring him any peace. Sam suggests to Bucky to sincerely help those he has hurt in the past. Right now, his atonement is just for relief, but the right way should be to make the other person feel better. Bucky feels encouraged by this, and compliments Sam for his insight. Then Bucky decides to try true atonement. At this moment, the two former allies of Captain America have now become the best partners. After Bucky leaves, Sam also makes up his mind. In the days that follow, he trains intensely. At first, when the shield returns, he struggles to catch it. But as the grueling training continues, Sam regains his form. Meanwhile, on the Flag Smashers side, they have a new plan. Karli recruits the LAF organization, which has a grudge against Sam. They plan to launch an attack at the return conference, to disrupt the voting on the repatriation bill. Before long, the conference begins, to decide the fate of the refugees. Suddenly, a red light flashes, and a red-eyed symbol appears on the screen. At this moment, Sam learns that Karli is on the move. He walks to the box and opens it. Then Sam dons his suit and flies to the scene. On the way, he calls for Bucky to come for support. When Bucky arrives, he unexpectedly finds Sharon at the base of the building, so the two infiltrate the building together, to stop the Flag Smashers. At this moment, Karli saw Sam in the air, and ordered her men to act. The entire building descends into chaos, as everyone rushes to the exits. At this moment, a shield crashes through a window. At this point, the second Captain America officially makes his appearance. The captain realized that they want to drive people out of the building. He notifies Bucky to intercept. Suddenly, the LAF leader bursts out and engages in a fight with the captain. When Sam was still Falcon, he caused significant damage to him. At this moment, Bucky received a call from Karli. She wants to recruit Bucky to join the Flag Smashers. But now, Bucky's willpower is strong enough to resist Zemo. He ignores Karli's invitation, but Karli is not surprised. Her true goal is to delay Bucky. At this time, the congressmen have become hostages. Realizing they've fallen into a trap, Bucky hops on a motorcycle to chase after them. Meanwhile, Sharon hears a Flag Smasher say that all the hostages are in position, and that there's a helicopter on the roof. To resolve this person, Sharon informs the two. While Bucky is pursuing on the ground, the captain no longer lingers in battle. He knocks down the leader and flies out the window. At this moment, the plane carrying the hostages has taken off. The captain plans to break through from the side, but he is met with a barrage of gunfire. The captain can only send Red Wing to scout, and he successfully identifies that the female congresswoman will pilot the helicopter. The captain immediately formulates a plan. At this time, a police helicopter attempts to intercept the chopper, but unexpectedly, the other side shows no fear. The police helicopter is struck and loses control. beginning to fall. The captain launches a rescue operation. Red Wing pulls out the co-pilot. He rescues the pilot. The captain continues to intercept the plane, but is attacked by the other side. Next, the tilted rotor sends the captain flying into a steel beam. The falling steel beam crushes him into the sea. The next moment, a blue light appears, and the captain bursts out of the water. He then hacks into the congresswoman's phone, and tells her that he will take the pilot, and that she will need to take over the plane. Then the flag smashers are thrown into the sea. The congresswoman successfully stabilizes the helicopter. On the other side, Carly saw that things aren't going as planned, and decides to kill all the hostages. Carly, along with the remaining flag smashers, blocks the armored vehicle. At this moment, Bucky rides up on a motorcycle. He engages in a fierce battle with the super soldiers. Carly plays a clever trick, knowing that Bucky prioritizes saving people. So Carly instructs her men to target a hostage vehicle. Bucky stops fighting and rushes to save the hostages. Carly tries to take advantage of the moment to escape. They are stopped by the arriving Walker. Walker has fashioned a makeshift shield, and he intends to take revenge for his partner. Walker is furious, and he throws the shield directly, but the shield is kicked away by Carly, and the other super soldiers rush in. But Walker is also a super soldier, and he isn't afraid at all. At this moment, with the help of his arm, he yanks the car door open. The flag smashers are about to kill Walker, but Bucky punches him away. Carly picks up a metal rod, and continues to fight Bucky. Before long, Carly kicks him off the building. Walker takes down 3 people, and finally confronts Carly. The two are evenly matched. Carly kicks Walker away. Then she speeds away in the armored vehicle. Next, she jumps out at the end. The armored vehicle collides, coming to a stop at the edge of the building. Bucky sees this scene and feels helpless. At this moment, Walker catches up. He looks at the scene before him, caught between stopping Carly and saving people. He still chooses to save the people, but the flag smashers attack Walker again, and they both fall off the high building. The armored vehicle loses balance, and begins to plummet downward. Seeing that disaster is imminent, suddenly, the armored vehicle halts in midair. It turns out the captain has arrived just in time, and he is holding up the front of the vehicle. The crowd sees Captain America, and they cheer loudly.
That's Captain America.
Then, the captain takes down the flag smashers below. Carly looks at the captain, when suddenly the LAF leader fires a smoke bomb. Carly seizes the opportunity to escape, and the captain's goggles have infrared thermal vision. He leads Bucky and Walker in pursuit. At this time, Carly encounters Sharon. Unexpectedly, they realize they know each other. It turns out Sharon is the power broker. Sharon wants Carly to return to her side, but Carly says she only needs muscle. At this moment, the LAF leader also appears. He was sent by Sharon to monitor Carly. However, upon hearing that Sharon is the broker, he seizes the opportunity to demand double payment, or he will expose Sharon's identity. Sharon refuses the blackmail, and shoots him dead on the spot. At the same time, Carly shoots Sharon. At this moment, the captain heard the commotion and rushed over. He puts away his shield, and still tries to persuade Carly to surrender. But Carly has gone mad, and she wants to kill Sharon. The captain knocks Carly away, and Carly launches a frenzied attack. But the captain only defends and does not attack, as Carly screams wildly, telling him to fight back. In the end, Carly knocks the captain's shield away. Then she picks up a gun, intending to kill the captain. Suddenly, a gunshot rings out. Sharon shoots first, hitting Carly. Carly can't hold on, and dies in the captain's arms. Sharon's identity is no longer at risk of exposure. The captain carries Carly back to the crowd. He places Carly on a stretcher. Bucky and Walker team up to clear the remaining flag smashers. This turmoil comes to a temporary end. In the face of the congressman's gratitude, the captain is not happy. In front of the media, he points out the problems with the government. The government only knows how to hunt down the flag smashers, but doesn't understand the reasons behind their actions. The congressmen only want to forcibly relocate the refugees, but don't want to help them rebuild their homes. The power of the congressman is so great, it can even rival that of gods. With just one phone call, they can feed millions. An email can rebuild a city, but they are unwilling to do so. One congressman tries to retort, but he doesn't understand the complexity of the situation. The captain addresses everyone, saying that he is a black man. Standing here now, countless people are blaming him. and he can even feel this resentment. He doesn't have the super serum, he doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, he just believes he can do better. Humanity can do better. The congressman present falls silent after hearing this. After listening, Winter Soldier showed a relieved smile. Walker also wholeheartedly agrees. Isaiah, watching from his TV, acknowledges Sam, and the sheriff calls for the captain. He asks for help in capturing the flag smashers that fell into the water. The police prepare to transport the flag smashers to the island prison, but just as they set off, a violent explosion occurs. Several flag smashers are killed, and an old man sits in the car, putting away a remote control. It turns out the mastermind isn't Carly. Meanwhile, Walker puts on the new suit brought by Val, and becomes U.S. agent. Bucky finds the old man, and ultimately reveals the truth of the matter. He killed the old man's son. From this point on, Bucky completed the atonement for everyone on the list. He fully lets go of the past, and Sam finds Isaiah, taking him to the Captain America Museum. Here stands a statue of Isaiah. His contributions will forever be remembered by the world. Sam and Bucky return home, watching the ocean under the sunset. At this moment, the former Falcon and Winter Soldier officially become Captain America and the White Wolf. In the post-credits scene, Sharon gets her desired pardon, and she receives Agent Carter's identity, but she is still the top broker in Madripoor, and it's unknown what kind of chaos she will bring. The story ends here. The storyline of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier follows closely after Avengers Endgame. After Steve left, he entrusted the mantle to Sam, but Sam always feels that he isn't worthy of being captain, and there exists a lot of distrust and misunderstandings between Bucky and him. After a series of events, the two ultimately trust each other and resolve their doubts. They become each other's strongest support. This emotional transformation is nuanced and genuine. The series deeply explores many social issues, such as racial equality, identity recognition, and the impacts of war trauma. Sam is an African American, and during his journey to becoming Captain America, he is filled with self-doubt and faces societal rejection. The pressure he faces is unprecedented. Ultimately, he finds his balance. He becomes the new Captain America. Sam appears in the star-spangled suit, holding the shield. This moment is truly exhilarating. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not just a superhero show. It carries rich social significance and inspiration, and the visual effects maintain Marvel's high standards. There's nothing more to say about that. Overall, this is a series with very successful character development, and performs excellently in all aspects. It has a strong sense of immersion, and is highly recommended. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Your support is the greatest encouragement to me.